What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ali back at it again with another YouTube video where we go over mental models you can use to become extremely successful and achieve all the goals you're fucking after. So let's get right into it, right? So today we're talking about training, right? Because if you want to be able to achieve your goals and reach your ambitions, you got to train. Like, how are you going to reach the goals that you want to achieve or reach the height of heights and reach the peak of your masculinity if you're not willing to get better at the abilities you need to get better at to get the outcomes you want, right? You got to train. But like always, let's first define training. What does it mean to train? So training just means doing something, right? Doing something over and over again for a better outcome, right? Because why else would we be doing something over and over again if we don't want a better outcome, right? I'm pretty sure the definition of insanity is actually doing something over and over again and getting the same outcome and not giving a fuck. I'm pretty sure. Man, y'all can fact check me. Y'all can figure that shit out. But the point is, it'd be stupid, right? That's why we do stuff over and over again, because we want a better outcome or to get a desirable outcome at the very least, right? So, okay, why is this important? Why is it so important to train, obviously? Because before I was just saying it's necessary for us to get better, but it's important to understand if you want to have a skill or you see skills or abilities that you want, or you see somebody being able to do something that you want to do, right? You need to train so that you can increase the likelihood that you get a better outcome when you do said skill or ability, right? That's why we train. And an important thing I actually want you guys to take away from this video is to realize that everything is a skill. Everything can be trained. Usually when you niggas think of training, especially a lot of young guys, when you guys think of training, you think about it in terms of, oh, it's like basketball, man. I'm gonna go to the court, I'm gonna go shoot this ball so I can get better at shooting. So the ball goes in the net more, right? Or in soccer, you know what I'm saying? I want to get better at passing, so I'm gonna go against the wall and pass the ball against the wall, right? You imagine training like that. That's what you think about training. You usually think of it as an athlete. But the thing is, all things can be trained. Any behavior that you see somebody doing that is getting them a particular outcome can be trained. For example, being charismatic, you can train that. Being extroverted, you can train that shit. Being funny, you can train that shit. Because these things are just how we describe behaviors. And that's actually what brings us directly into the first actionable step of this, right? And how to train or what training looks like, right? You have to first look at behave or behaviors. Behave. And then plus, because there's one more step to this, of course. But think behave, right? Because a skill is just a behavior. When you say somebody's charismatic, it's because they're doing behaviors that make them charismatic. Let's say, for example, when someone's charismatic, whenever they walk into a room, they usually greet everybody in the room. They give everyone a handshake, a firm handshake. Or also, whenever they talk to people, they make sure to stand up with their back straight and get their hands involved in their talking, right? They're usually like, hey, yo, what's up, man? How you doing today, bro? Oh, nah, I usually went here. I did this thing. I enjoyed this thing. I went on the water slide today. I smashed this hoe today. Like, whatever it is, right? They get really involved in the conversation. They use their hands. And the thing is, this is a behavior you can mimic, right? Because what is training? Doing something over and over again for a better outcome. So if you're like, damn, I kind of lack charisma. Okay, well, we know a charismatic person, the way they behave is that they use their hands when they speak. Whenever they enter a room, they make sure to give everyone a firm handshake if they don't know the people in the room. And that's something you can also do from now on. Whenever you walk into a room, right, you make sure to give everyone a firm handshake if you don't know anybody in the room. Or when you talk to people, you start to get your hands involved more, right? And understand, guys, this is not like some shit where you're going to be instantly good. That's why we train. That's why we do shit over and over again, so we can get better. If you think you're going to do something once and you're instantly going to be fucking good, you're wrong, right? And that's why the plus here is reps, right? Reps. Like, you get better by doing it over and over again. That's the over and over again part, right? That's the over and over again part. You have to do it over and over again, or how are you going to get good? Because a lot of you niggas too, this is the problem. You guys see people who are good at things and you're like, shit, just drop my fucking marker. But you guys see people who are good at things and you think to yourself, you're like, damn, how is he doing that? How is he so charismatic? How is he so extroverted? How can he speak so well, right? How is he doing this? Well, he trained. But a lot of you niggas will just be like, oh, it's just talent. He's just talented. So let me explain something about talent, because talent is just some shit that really fucks up a lot of young guys. Like that's really what demoralizes guys. They see people who are good at things, or they see other guys who are good at things, and they're like, but I'm just not talented enough for that. That doesn't make any fucking sense. If you want to get better at anything, you just have to train it. Because you can just look at the behavior. If you see somebody doing something, okay, you see the behavior and then you rep it out. People just say, oh, he's charismatic. He was born for that. Not really. Okay, even if somebody's talented, all talent really is, guys, is a booster. That's all it is. It's just you have a more innate genetic whatever to make you do this particular something at a higher level than somebody else who does not have that genetic disposition or that natural ability or natural skill. Like they can't just do the thing as good as you instantly from the get-go. But what closes that gap is the reps. That's what closes the gap. There's no man who's reached the pinnacle of anything and never talks about how hard they worked. It's always how much effort you're willing to put in. And I know you guys have probably already heard the quote, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But the thing is, when people are talented, and this is some shit niggas never say, never talk about. When people are talented, they tend to not do a lot of this. They take this for granted. They think, oh, well, but I'm already good. I'm already getting these outcomes way better than everybody else compared to everybody else. So I don't have to do this. I don't got to do this. So talented people rarely work hard. It's very actually rare, guys. And this is why I'm saying you can beat like most people if you're just willing to train. If you're willing to look at the behaviors that people have with all skills. It's not just about being an athlete, with being charismatic, being extroverted. Look at the way these people behave. When somebody's funny, the way that these people behave, right? And then rep it out. If you're willing to do this more than people who are talented, you're going to beat them. Most talented people, they don't do a lot of this because they haven't had to. So it's almost like talent oftentimes is a blessing and a curse. Because yes, it makes you good at the get-go with something, but it also puts you in a position where you feel like you don't have to train because you're better than everybody else at the start. But the nigga who's willing to do way more of this is going to beat them. And this is why, in my opinion, hard work always beats talent, because talented people rarely work hard. You'd be surprised. If you're willing to look at the behaviors of those who are talented and see why are they good, really ask yourself that. What are the behaviors? What are they doing that makes them good? Okay, well, let me just mimic that. Let me rep that shit out. It's really just this simple, guys, with all skills and abilities. It's this simple. If you see someone with something that you want or a skill and ability that you want to have, okay, your immediate thought should be, what does it look like? How are they behaving? I'm really going hard on this because this is what fucks a lot of niggas up. They just say, oh, this person's charismatic. Oh, they're extroverted. They're funny. Like, I want to be funny. I want to be charismatic, bro. It's like, okay, well, what did the behaviors look like? What did the actions? Because how else are you going to train if you don't understand the actions? If you don't understand what the thing looks like when it's done well, how are you going to train? What are the reps going to look like for you? You don't know what it's supposed to look like. You don't know how to behave. And I'm telling you, when you have this mental model, when you approach training or getting better at things, it makes training easy. There's now nothing you can't teach yourself to do. There's literally nothing. You can teach yourself to literally do anything. So who gives a fuck about who's talented or not? Talent is just a booster. It just gives you a nice head start. But a lot of people who are talented, they take that shit for granted, which is why the real winners always train. All men everywhere who are at the pinnacle of anything, they always talk about this. They always say my mentality. And usually when they say mentality, it breaks down to I trained harder than everyone. Like, I'm be honest, like look at any guy who's reached anything, bro. It always breaks down to that. I'm telling you, I will die on that hill. It always breaks down to, blah, 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 blah. I trained harder than everyone. Like, really, I'm telling you. But people who are talented, bro, how many stories have you heard of guys who were super talented, but they never reached anything? Because talented people, they don't work hard, guys. They're already good. That's why I'm saying it's a blessing and a curse to be talented. It's very rare that someone will be talented and be like, I'm insanely good. Let me go harder. Because think about it like this. If everybody's down here, and this is kind of be more me wrapping up here, but if everybody's down here and you start off up here and you compare yourself to the people who are below you, you get comfortable. Why would you want to? Because training is hard, guys. It's not like you just, you train and it's easy. And I'll actually talk about that a little bit more too in a second. But training is not something easy. It's not like, oh, training is easy. You just wake up and you train, right? But even having the ability to train And overcoming that is training in itself. You have to train yourself to do that, which I'll get into in a small second. But okay, if someone's below you and you're up here because you're talented, you're already good, you immediately start getting cocky and comfortable because you're comparing yourself to people who are below you, right? And you're like, nigga, I don't need to fucking train. Look how fucking good I am. Why would I want to go through more effort and pain? Why would I want to do more reps when I'm already so much better than everybody else? And this is the curse of talent. It makes you take shit for granted. So all of a sudden, the people who are willing to train and get used to training and reach your level, well, they're already at a point where training is in their blood because they had to work so hard to get here. So they're like, nigga, I'm just gonna keep fucking going. Whereas this talented guy never really trained. So now he has to basically take a large step back to figure this shit out and realize, oh shit, well, I gotta get better, bro. I gotta get better outcomes with my training because these niggas are catching up to me. And for a lot of them, they fall off completely. How many homies do you know in high school that were super talented, but they really entered the real world of how hard people can actually work, and they're like, fuck, I can't do this anymore. I'm so used to being the best guy. I can't fall from grace like that. And they give up. They stop chasing their goal or their dream. It doesn't even just have to be as an athlete. It could be whatever it is. The world is a vast place, guys, and a lot of niggas are out here willing to work hard. So those talented guys, maybe at the beginning when you're younger, you're like, fuck. But I'm telling you guys, as you grow older, this is what separates everyone. Mentality is what separates everyone. Effort and sacrifice is what separates everyone. I'm going to be so real with y'all. So the last thing I will say, you niggas are probably watching this and be like, okay, Ali, you're right. You know, if I want to get better at anything, I just have to look at the behaviors of those who have what I want and then rep it out till my behavior looks the exact same. So then I could be described as extroverted, charismatic, funny, or I can improve my athletic ability or whatever it is. Or I can improve my content creation, for example. I could improve my handwriting on a board or whatever. You know, I can improve my setup, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You look at the behaviors, you get better at it. But I don't have the discipline, Ali. I don't have the motivation. I don't have the focus. Well, those things, those skills, you have to train for those too. You don't get to have motivation for free. You don't get to have discipline for free. You don't get to have focus for free, guys. You have to train that too. You have to look at what focus looks like. You have to look at what discipline looks like. You have to look at what motivation looks like and do the reps to improve it. You have to improve your motivation. You have to improve your discipline. You have to improve your focus. You don't get to have this shit, right? And I can get into the definition of motivation, discipline, and all those other things, but I don't want to make this video extremely long because I want you guys to really just think about this for now. But I did make a video on motivation and how to stay motivated for a long period of time. So you can definitely check that out. I'll link that down below so you can go see that so you understand motivation. And then when you see that, you're like, okay, to be motivated, I just have to do this. So let me rep this out. Let me make sure this is constantly what I'm doing over and over again. And naturally, the more you train, the more instinctive the abilities become to the point that it's just naturally a part of you. So yeah, man, do we fucking cook here? Was I not just cooking? Am I not a real ass nigga? Am I not cold as hell for what I just dropped for y'all? Just join up with the fam, man. Join the fam. Follow the YouTube. Like and subscribe if you really fucked with this shit. Because I'm going to keep dropping more shit like this. Because not only does this make y'all niggas colder, but it makes me colder because it reminds me of this shit. I'm like, bro, I got to put in more reps. I got to go harder. I got to look at more behaviors. I got to go look at niggas who are way colder than me, look at their behaviors and rep that shit out. Because hard work always beats talent. In my world, hard work always beats talent. And it seems to be true in the real world anyway, because every guy who's reached the pinnacle of anything says the same thing as me. So with that being said, I'll catch y'all niggas in the next YouTube video. Deuces.